And hello to the latest episode of From the Rubble, which is my Let's Build series set in a, apparently in a tornado zone. But it's set in a post-apocalyptic, heavily modded Minecraft world. And in the past, we've focused on surviving and then setting up some basic defenses and then some basic resource production, take care of ourselves. Now we're transitioning to from the basics to the not so basic, right? So what we have here is courtesy of the thermal series. We are grinding up big rocks into little rocks and little rocks and even the littler rocks, sand to be specific, but all of that with an eye toward producing tons and tons of concrete, and we'll be using that to build with. And as much concrete as I'm producing at the moment, I'm coming to the realization that it's just not enough. So, I mean, at some point we'll maybe want to scale this up, but for now, scaling up is not in the cards. For now, really, it's a matter of building that first floor, which is kind of like the anchor for everything that comes later. So I want to get supplies moving so that we'll have the concrete available when we want it or need it. So I got 13 light gray dye, and yeah, let me look. I need a lot more light gray dye to fully use up the slag and sand I have now. So let's take a gander at what type of dyes I have available. Let's see. It's not a dye, but I put it away. Just taking a look at what I got there. I have a fair amount of bone meal, and we'll need this to make those dyes. So that's a white, and then we need black, which I can make with a little bit of charcoal, right? Put the charcoal in, make the black. Mix the black with the gray. I need one more black. There we go. Now, this will get me gray, but I don't want gray. I want light gray. So I need a bunch of the light, a bunch of the white. Mixing the white with the gray will get me my light gray. And boom, we got oodles. Choose from. Now that gives me 4 full stacks of light gray concrete powder. But in a earlier episode, I showed you how I would convert the concrete powder to concrete by basically plopping it down in the lake surrounding my area. And I think what I need to do now is to move away from that, right? What I really need to do is make an oscillated, not an oscillated fan. It's been hot. We've been using our oscillating fans, but I need to make an encased fan and have it blow through water, and I'll be able to have that in the create mod. We call that washing when it blows through water like that, and that is a quick and rapid way to convert an entire stack of concrete powder to concrete blocks. And last time, where'd the handle go? I don't have it. Oh, I think I might have completely killed it when I used it. Because I used my pickaxe instead of an axe. Oh, there it is. Okay, never mind. Anyway, in the previous episode, I commented that, you know, plopping down the powder and then mining it again as a block, it's not particularly efficient. Certainly not a lot of fun. And so what I need to do is to probably make a washer. But I didn't stop and make a washer in that episode. I'm stopping to make a washer in this episode. This is going to be an ongoing thing. So let's go up here. Overstressed. Okay, so we got to turn off the grinder by, let's knock out this cog. And now it's just the press. There we go. So I need to press 4 total. 3, 4. And that should be it, right? Yep, okay, we're good. Put this back so I don't have to carry it around. I don't have any andesite alloy. I'll need this, but okay then. I'm gonna have to make some andesite alloy, but I know that it's been a problem in the past in this world. But here, I've got a bunch of zinc, not a bunch, but certainly enough to get going. Let's kind of put these pieces back together to get this hopper out of my inventory, among other things. Put that down, and we can just park the handle on the end here. Okay. So, andesite alloy. I'm going to need the andesite. I really don't have any other zinc available, so I'll take these 12 and I'll throw them in the blast furnace. And we'll kind of nurse these. Now, a little bit of zinc goes a long way when making the andesite alloy. That's because when we go to combine it, we're combining zinc nuggets to andesite blocks on a 1-for-1 ratio. So you go through the andesite pretty fast, but you go through the zinc a lot slower. It's a 9-to-1 ratio. So that works out nice. So this 12 zinc should actually get us a lot of andesite alloy, right? In fact, I have more zinc nuggets than I do andesite, so we'll have leftovers. That gave me 32 nuggets. I have 3 andesite left. And if I take the 1 zinc nugget I had left over from before, that's 45. It goes into 9 evenly. So there you go. That works out better than I could have planned. Okay, so I'm going to need a casing. So there's my casing. And then how is the order? I believe... Oh yeah, we gotta make the fan. And then the order goes fan on the bottom, then the casing, then the shaft. Yes. I was kind of hoping I had some gearboxes or something left over, but I have very little create mod stuff left over. So now that should give us plenty of shafts. And now we are going to actually make use of the windmill we made a few episodes ago. So now I guess this episode will kick off our maiden voyage in Create. I mean, we made the windmill, but it hasn't been used for anything. We wound up going with the thermal series for our pulverizer and crushing. But now we're going to use the windmill. Maybe. I am having a hard time accessing. Maybe I squeak under it like this. No. How if I move over to the side? Oh, I'm in. Okay. So now I gotta make a gearbox. I don't need 4, I need 3, because I already got one. Oh, I need another casing. And for the casing I need more wood. Not planks, but logs. Guess what? I'm right next to the tree. So, let me just make sure. Yeah, I need casing. So, I'm going to go tree chopping. Lately I seem to have been having some pretty bad luck in getting saplings from the spruce tree when I cut them down, so we'll see how that goes now. You know, this world is a post-apocalyptic one, and it's kind of weird about how the things you're involved with, how they change some of your thought patterns and what you think about. But recently the family spent a week in New England, mostly Massachusetts, and most of that was in the Boston area. And we're surrounded by history, and so, you know, we were checking all that out. But where I was going with this is, you know, I've always had an interest in post-apocalyptic fiction, and I'm playing this, right? I mean, I made a whole post-apocalyptic Minecraft world and mod pack. But you know, we went and visited USS Constitution, Old Ironsides, right? Now that was I did not mean to get in. How do I get out of it in this one? Not 0. Maybe it's numeric keypad 0. No, that's not it. Backspace. I mean, if you there it is. Yeah, backspace. If you jump in, it prompts you to get you going, but it doesn't prompt you for getting out until you've actually flown. So anyway, so my point was, we were looking at the USS Constitution. You know, the nickname Old Ironsides. Now that is, for all intents and purposes, a functional 18th century warship, right? I mean, the cannons work. I mean, they could hurt somebody with cannonballs if they actually had cannonballs. Usually they fire, you know, just ballless charges, right? Just they make a lot of smoke and noise. But you could put cannonballs in that puppy and you know, go to town just like it was the 1790s. So the point in all of that, this is just, it's interesting to think about that, right? What if there was a zombie apocalypse today, right? right? Like right now, wherever you're at. I mean, maybe you're at home and maybe you're at school, maybe you're at work. I don't know. But wherever you're at right now, what would happen is if whatever happens to make zombies happened, and now you're going to have to survive. What would you do, right? And in this case, like, you know, like in a lot of times in the movies, they're like, well, there's a National Guard armory. We'll just go there. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. That's good move. But maybe that doesn't work. So then I can picture people like going into museums and grabbing swords and shields and bows and, you know, yeah, it's not a shotgun or a minigun or whatever, but it, you know, you get up close and personal with somebody with a sword, even in the hands of somebody who's not particularly skilled with it. Somebody's getting hurt, right? So I was just, and you know, the New England area, Boston is the type of place where that kind of thinking takes place. Because there I was on the deck of a 200-plus-year-old sailing ship, right? That was a warship. It is still, in fact, it's. I need to remember what I'm doing here. It's still a commissioned warship, right? We had to go through a metal detector and all sorts of stuff to get on it because it's an active duty Navy ship. The people on board, they're U.S. Navy personnel. Now, yeah, you know, if there's a big war with China, we're not going to go to war against China with the Constitution in the flotilla, but it's still working. And what other stuff is out there, right? Because, you know, New England, it's full of museums and stuff. I mean, this is where we had Minutemen and stuff. And so I just wonder how many... I mean, I went to at least half a dozen museums alone. How many more are out there where you can go in there, you can grab a sword, you can grab a musket. You know, now it's just a matter of making some ball shot and finding some black powder, and boom, you've got a working musket, right? And again, it's a working musket. I wouldn't want to go, you know, musket against an M16, but I would definitely go musket against a guy with a butcher knife or some slow-moving zombie. Anyway, it's one of those things that I guess it really doesn't matter. It's for fun, but it's kind of an extension of what your defense teacher will. Oops, I meant to put slag in there. Your personal defense teacher would call situational awareness. Right? Like, you need to be aware of what's going on in the space around you. To a similar extent, you kind of need to know what is available in the space around you, right? And it's not just, you know, I'm talking about it in fancy terms of like a zombie apocalypse, right? Okay, there's not going to be a zombie apocalypse. So at that point, this is all strictly, you know, rhetorical what ifs type stuff. But you remember Hurricane Katrina? I mean, that basically knocked parts of the Deep South out of the Union for a couple weeks, right? There was no electricity, no phone. Those people were on their own for 2 weeks. A lot of looting and stuff, and it might not have been a zombie apocalypse, but it was about as close as you can get. And at that point, yeah, if there's guys running through the streets looting and pillaging and stuff, if I got a sword and I'm in my house and maybe even a gun too, you know, they're gonna go to the next house down because that's just the way it always works with mob mentality. Is they're gonna go, you know, if you're going against active troops, well, they have military objectives and they're gonna run into the face of fire because they have to take the military objective. You got a bunch of people just looting and pillaging. Basically, they're going to go path of least resistance. So if they think they might get shot by you, then they're going to go to the next house. You know, I don't know how I'm getting off on a tangent because I feel I am. But I got to turn this so it's vertical like this. Okay, hold that thought. I got to think through this. This is... I guess I need another gearbox because I can't blow at ground level. I need the water to pour down. So Okay, another gearbox. Anyway, my point was, if you go to a lot of places, when you rent a rental car, they have stickers all over the car that says this is a rental car, right? You know, this is from Alamo or Budget or Avis or whatever. And of course, the locals, okay, can look at your car and they go, oh, you're not from around here, are you? Okay. Now hold the thought again. So there's the fan. Oh, no. The fan is sucking in the air. I don't want it to suck in. I don't want it to suck. I want it to blow. Yep, same problem here. That's a subtle difference because in slang terms, to suck or to blow means the same thing. But in this case, literally, I need it to blow air. So I need yet another gearbox, right? Anyway, in Florida, the bad guys had figured out that, you know, a lot of Floridians carry guns. And, you know, so you try to carjack them or rob them, you'll get shot. But if you look for the cars that have the rental car company stickers, then you know that you're dealing with somebody from out of town. And almost by definition, they don't have guns, right? They couldn't bring them with them. So you can, you know, carjack those cars at your leisure. Okay, now let's see. This should blow now. Woo-hoo-hoo. Okay, so we're working with gas. So this is a place for the water to go into. Now we just gotta throw up some cobblestone guides, make sure the water doesn't go where it's not supposed to go. Like that, and then that should work, right? So if I pour the water in, it should go straight. No, it branched out. Okay, so let's put one more block in place. Take that piece out. Now okay, see the blue particles? We are washing now. Now I need to make a depot to put stuff on. Anyway, so the criminals figured out that somebody in a rental car is somebody you could jack up, and they couldn't do anything about it. So then that was bad. That was bad for tourism and stuff. So then they basically changed it. So the rental car companies didn't put these stickers all over their cars anymore. And now, when the bad guys were going to go try to carjack somebody, they had really no idea who they were carjacking, and it was back to the original problem, which is a lot of Floridians carry guns. So in a very short period of time, the attacks on people in rental cars went way down. So okay, let's see how long this takes. It'll go faster if I can crank up the RPMs, but I'm not ready to do that just yet. Because, I mean, I got so much concrete. It's more along the lines of something you would want to, like, handle like dry cleaning. Drop it off, go do your stuff, come back and pick it up. So that's what I'd like to do. So let's do that. Let's go do some stuff and come back and pick it up. Well, we've established, you know what? I have some, salmon berry pips that I should plant. I think I accidentally tore them up last time. I was wondering where those came from. Okay. So, there you go. Concrete for concrete powder. So we've established that I need a lot more bone meal. This will help. Plus, we're accumulating experience. We can use our experience points now that we have an enchanting infuser. Especially now that we have a normal enchanting infuser. Because, you know, the advanced one, you can keep adding stuff or tweaking, you know, adding or removing enchantments to your heart's content. But with the normal one, like we have now, it's kind of like you got to do it all up front. which means you need 40, 50 levels up front to fully enchant something. Anyway. And now that we got a lot of agricultural stuff that we can be harvesting. And once we get to storage, we won't throw it all into the composter, but right now a lot of it is going in the composter because that's where we need it. So almost all of this rich soil is done curing, and it seems I get that achievement every episode, but it's not. It just, they make some updates or upgrades and that resets my achievement progress, but it's not my first rodeo with the rich soil, not even in this world. Okie dokie. So the washer is washing. It's doing what I want it to do. And it might seem a little slow, but if you remember what I was doing before, where I was like laying all this stuff out in the lake and then mining it back up, this is warp speed, man. This is much, much better. Okay. So we have plenty of carrots, so we'll compost all of those. We'll save the woody ones, which have a very specific use that I probably will never need, but they don't compost, so. Okay. So I was just thinking that maybe we can speed things along by adding a second depot. Looks like I probably add even a couple more. So because this stream of washing extends out, right, more than one block. So we could put depots and blocks all along that, and they will all work simultaneously. Okay. I should definitely get enough spruce saplings out of this one, since it's got branches all the way down to the ground. Normally I don't have bad luck with spruce saplings, but I have with this one for some reason. So similar problem with jungle trees. Used to have a similar problem with dark oak, but with the mod that kills all the leaves at once, I don't have the problem with dark oak anymore, so that's good. I will always have that problem with hellbark trees from the Biomes O' Plenty mod, but I might have mentioned this before. I found, once upon a time, I found a mod that lets you create saplings by grab a leaf block of a given tree, put it in a crafting table with a stick, and you can create a sapling of that type of tree. And that's important because the hellbark trees give you black wood. I mean, it's almost black. It's like, charcoal gray. That's incredibly useful stuff, especially for a steampunk world. So yeah, I used that mod for a while, but then I realized it didn't cover all trees. I mean, it actually worked only for the vanilla trees. So I turned around and made my own recipes for the vanillas and the biomes of plenty trees, and now I don't need that mod anymore. So pretty cool. So with all these bits in place, we have quite a bit of concrete available. And now I think it's time to move forward with what I originally planned to do in the first place, which is run downstairs and let's finish drafting the form and then hopefully the look of the downstairs. This will set the foundation, literally and metaphorically, of the rest of the build. So as you remember last time, I had a bunch of concrete and I figured it would fill out the floor of the space. It didn't quite make it. So let's go ahead and make all of this smooth concrete, and let's get her done. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'm gonna need to start very soon. I'll need to start digging upwards. Oh, and that's going to be problematic because as we've already discovered, I've tapped into some large cave networks, and speak of the devil. This is where I was going with that. So it's a Lenny and Squeaky moment. Yeah. Shut up. Okay. Which is exactly where I was headed with this, right? Gonna have a lot more unannounced and uninvited visitors, so until we can get that area sealed up. But I'm kind of hoping that once we start building walls and stuff, it'll be a lot easier to do traffic control. Right now, everything's just out in the open, so when somebody drops in like that, they just make a beeline for you, which, I mean, one-on-one, it's okay. It's not a big deal at all. But, like, in Greifenhorst, I accidentally tapped into a dungeon with a zombie spawner. And, you know, that, it got tense a little bit. I mean, the good news is I had already built my advanced enchantment infuser, and all my gear was totally tricked out, so I was as prepared as I was ever going to be, and so I handled it. It was no big deal, no problem. I didn't even get close to being dead. Now, that being said, Greifenhorst, this isn't Greifenhorst. I mean, for one thing, I don't have an advanced enchantment infuser, and so it's going to be a while before my stuff's fully tricked out. And two, we've got Atomic Strikers Chaos mod, which basically gives me those sparkling purple variants that we've seen off and on in this series. So if if I'm going to get zerged by a whole bunch of zombies, I can almost guarantee at least one of them is going to be a sparkly purple unpleasant surprise, and possibly more than one, in which case I'm in deep doo-doo. But that, I have a fighting chance with that once we can get all of our kit fully optimized. So there you go. That's what I couldn't do last time. What happened to all my concrete? I guess it almost used it all up, which I guess that kind of matches what we saw last time. This space uses a lot of concrete, so I guess we'll need to go up and start making another batch. Still, I would have thought I had a little more than that, but it's okay. It's okay. Now, like I said, what we've done here is we're sketching, and I need more concrete because what I need to do is I need to kind of start laying out walls and looking at sizes. So, if you remember, this is a the central core is a central access shaft up and down through the entire complex, and it's 2 chunks by 2 chunks in size. Now, we've got the crate mod. We're going to have an elevator, but since I have such a large shaft, I'm actually thinking I will have 4 elevator shafts, and instead of a spiral staircase around them, I'll actually have kind of a wide ramp that you could drive vehicles up and down. That's the plan anyway. We'll see how it goes. So all of this, I've done similar stuff in the past, but I've never done this exact layout, this exact sizing. Plus, since we're going by chunks, everything's based off of even numbers, not odd numbers like I'm normally used to. So this is all going to throw a bit of a curveball into my planning. And when I was mentioning the enchantment infuser, I realized that I've got I have 30 levels, and I can use that to make one nifty axe. Right? So we'll go ahead and grab that diamond axe, and later we'll enchant that as best as we can, and we'll be in good shape. So now I got my white concrete back, light gray concrete. So there is a bug that I've had in my Minecraft series for a while, which is sometimes it will hide items in my inventory, and then later I discover they're there after all, or if I try to move something on them in the inventory, they will appear. So I'll put these in the corner like this so I know where they're supposed to be, and if they disappear, I can probably make them reappear again. So these torches, that 4x4 section right there, that's the center. Now, normally the very center of my base would be a 1x1 block, and I just put a stack of scaffolding there. This case, I'll do something similar. It'll be a 2x2 stack of scaffolding, but I don't have access to scaffolding, but I'll still lay things out like I will, right? So, that's going to give me 4. I want to have an access shaft from each of the 4 cardinal directions. So let's pick this stuff up because it's time to build. Okay, so there's 4 cornerstones. Now what we'll do is we'll build this so that that'll give me space for an elevator. Okay, that's 2, and now these 2 back elevator shafts will face toward the back, because by the time I'm kind of hoping that the way we'll set it up is that the roadway that will coil around, of course it goes up or down depending on your point of view, but by the time it reaches the back side of the central shaft, it will be high enough that it'll go over the heads of anybody using the elevator this side. Anyhow, that's my vision as I see it at the moment. We'll see how it actually plays out. Now, in addition to that, we'll need to lay out the walls, because the central shaft will be self-contained, right? It'll have doorways out into the rest of the base, but the shaft itself will be walled off so that you have to enter the shaft from designated entrances. Okay. Sorry, I'm so quiet. I am really concentrating here. I've had the general idea in my mind, but now it's time for the rubber to meet the road, and I just concentrating intently on what I'm doing. So I think this is south, and this is where most of the base will be in the south compared to the central shaft. Central shaft really won't be all that central. Okay, let's go ahead and put this back down here. I don't have many blocks left. So now let's start thinking texture, right? So I don't want to use the same block type for floors and walls. And even for floors and walls, I want to use some different textures in different places to give it all a more functional, dare I say, realistic look. So this is kind of cool. So let's try these panels. You saw in the example there that it has textures that will connect. So let's try putting these in the corner and see how that looks. Yeah, I mean I think that looks great, but I'm not quite sure. I think that would look better as more of like the filler, and I need something with like a bit more detail to act as, you know, the corners, the posts, right? Like that looks, I think that looks great. So let's pick one of these other options for posts. So I'm looking for something with a bit more detail like this. Let's see how this works. We'll put this in the corner. See, I think that looks a lot better. I think that looks a lot better, but I think it's still kind of maybe blends in a little too well. I think you need something like maybe a little bolder. Let's take all these and make them into the panels and see how that looks. Okay, so everything's a panel now. Oh, yeah. Okay, now we can move them together. Yeah, see, look at that. That looks pretty good. Still not quite sure about the corners though. This gives me something similar but a little more pronounced. Let's try that. Let's try this. See how it looks. Yeah, I think I actually like that better. It adds a little bit more visual contrast. Okay. So let's replace these. And the beauty is that I'm using the chip mod here. So when you convert a block, you can easily convert it back or to something else without any problem whatsoever. Look at that. I think that looks much better. I think it'll look even better when we move outwards. Now, like I said, the floor's got to have some varied texture too, and I imagine like at the bottom of these elevator shafts, they would have something like a drain, right? Keep them filling up with water. So this texture, I think, looks like a drain. See, so that looks pretty good. I don't have enough blocks to do all 4 shafts, but I think we can certainly do as many conversions as we can, and then we'll sooner or later we'll need to go and get more blocks. They go fast, I'll tell you that. Especially when you're building something at scale. And this is, I mean, in my book it's still kind of small, but this is not like, you know, your starting Heigh Ho. This has got some real estate behind it, so it's going to use a bunch of blocks. Okay, let's grab the corners first. And now you can kind of see why I've been calling this approach sketching, right? It's kind of like drawing. When you draw, you sketch something first. So you draw some vague outlines. These are kind of just like guidelines, posts from which the rest of the detail will be included and kind of hang, right? It's kind of like the framework on which everything is going to form around. I need 4 more. And so coming in here and laying it all out with the smooth blocks in the first place, that gives me a rough idea. And then at this point, we're in the middle of the tweaking process. I mean, I like these textures, but I may still experiment with new textures, different textures, just because, you know, I can. And you kind of want to, right? You kind of want to get that done now before, I mean, I would hate to have this whole level done and then decide I want to redo it a different way. And trust me, I've done it before. It's not fun. So doing it this way, it's there's a huge practical element, you know. One I've learned the hard way several times over. So that's the doorway to the shaft. Very nice. And if I haven't said it lately, a huge thank you to the authors or author of the chip mod. I really thank you guys for the time and effort you put into this mod. I dig it. I dig what it allows me to do. So thank you. While we're at it, might as well thank the guys behind Create Mod and the Thermal series, because same deal, right? I really appreciate your work, especially the guys on the Create team. As I've said before, and I'll say again here, loud and proud, I consider the Create Mod. First of all, I'll never go back to playing vanilla Minecraft, and the Create mod is what I consider one of the essential mods of any mod pack I play in, regardless of theme or time period. Okay, now I want to kind of establish, I think I'll use the same textures for these walls, right? That'll be the constant theme, but the elevator is kind of a special case. What I want to do here is establish kind of like the sizing and guidelines for regular spaces. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So it looks like it's going to be 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. So that would be 2 of these frame pieces on each, and then in between will be 2 of those fill pieces, those panels, and I think that'll look pretty good. What I would really like to do is I'd like to see if I could make slabs or panels using the Dum Ornamentum mod of these blocks from the chip mod, because if I could, and I'm pretty sure I can't, but if I could then use those to keep the same textures, but then add, well, literal 3D texture to it, right? Because I can make them pop out from the wall a little bit. In fact, what I think I'd like to do is I think I'd like to grab one of these and then take it with me to the surface to my architect table from Domnum Ornamentum and see if it works. Now, if it doesn't work, it's not the end of the world, because I can go and mess around with the tags so that it will work. I just like, it'd be great if it worked out of the box. And it turns out that I have my architect table right here with me, so I don't have to go to the surface. So let's make this into that, and let's try. Yeah, I can't place this in the UI, so that tells me that's not an authorized block, but that also tells me I just have to make it an authorized block. I can do that. But there's the planks, and they got panels too. Panels are basically same form factor as trapdoors. It's just that you can't open them. They just sit there. Okay, we're pretty close to time. This is good. This is actually what I wanted to do today. And I was, when I started working on the washing system, I was thinking, yeah, I'm not going to get the bottom floor fleshed out. But I essentially achieved everything I wanted to do today, plus a little extra. And it was good. It's very good. So next time we need to create a whole bunch more concrete. I think I'll add more depots. It looks like I have room for 4 depots. That means that's 4 stacks of powder I can convert to blocks at a time. I might automate the furnaces so that I can feed them with hoppers, right? So that I can crank up the speed with which I'm producing slag. And yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff here that we can do to kind of move things along a little faster. Though now that we're working on the central shaft and about to go upwards, we'll soon start opening up the area that will be well, the metro, so that we can go to the nether, but also the workshops and storage, right? So all the bits that are really allow us to rock and roll are coming online. Now we can definitely use some more wood. That's another thing I'm gonna have to optimize a bit. Okay, so it's chewing on the gravel now and making sand. That's good. We can go get a bunch more cobblestone and just keep this thing busy. Though I think I would prefer that it chew up the deep slate first. So right now it's chewing on gravel. When it's done chewing on gravel, it'll grab whatever item is in the top left corner. So that'll be the deep slate, and then it'll just work its way through there. But once it starts working on a given item, it's gonna, like in this case, it's working on the gravel. It's gonna use all the gravel in the box before it gets to that deep slate. So we're all set. Now I made that diamond axe. So let's see about giving this baby some enchantments and then taking it out for a spin. Done breaking, and then the efficiencies. That's as far as it goes. This is one. That's a lean, mean chopping machine right there. Oh, I will add Silk Touch to it though, because I don't have anything with Silk Touch on it, and there's nothing I would normally use an axe for Silk Touch, so that having Silk Touch on it won't get in the way when I'm using it for stuff that I would normally use an axe for. But then I can bust that out when there's something I actually want to Silk Touch. So we'll use up this stone axe, and then you'll see the difference, right? So chomp, chomp, chomp. Okay, that's not bad, especially for a stone axe. Yeah, I hear ya. I hear ya. Okay, we're about to lose it. There it is. And now, chump, chump, chump. Chump, chump, chump. Chump, chump, chump. Yeah, it's like, one hit, one cut. It's done. It's almost musical. It's almost like, the rhythm of some song or something. It's more like a Bugs Bunny cartoon where the bad guy's stomping around because he's mad. Dump, 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 dump. Yeah, I better get enough saplings out of this one too. Okay, we are cooking with gas. Coal, really. No, charcoal specifically, but okay, we are in dramatically better shape than we were just even a few episodes ago, right? This is great. Let me grab some of this stuff so we can be prepared to make concrete next time around. There we go. These can all go in there. Why did I move my bread and my sword? Okay. Didn't mean to do that. Yeah, so this went well. I think it went very, very well. Now, before I sign off, let's take care of this wood, and I want to take a look at the firearms. I think we've taken care of all the crashes and such that we had before. So now in this world we're running Tac Z vanilla, right? So that should ensure that we have maximum compatibility. But I haven't really looked to see how expensive that stuff is. I have a sneaking suspicion it's kind of pricey. But I just don't know. I don't know what materials it requires. I imagine there's going to be a lot of iron needed. We could do that if we have to, but okay, let's take a, nope. Oh, you can't. Apparently you need to click on the bench, not the shelf behind the bench. So, wow. To make a pistol, I need 48 ingots of iron. Let's see. Oh, a sniper rifle. 200 100 ingots of iron. 50. Oh. It'll be a while, I think, before I'm shooting anybody with anything. Which, in terms of game balance in a survival world, yeah, I get that. That makes sense. For me, scrabbling for whatever leftovers I can find in a broken world, well, I guess that works too. So 80 iron. Wow. Okay, it'll be a while before we're making guns. Let's set expectations right now and set them low. But there you go. So, like I said, this was a good episode for me. I had a lot of stuff planned. I actually got everything I planned and then some. We are in better shape for the future, for optimization of production and resources. So, this is good. This is really good. And I hope you got something out of this. I hope you enjoyed it. More importantly, I hope you feel compelled to hit the like button or leave a comment. That's my favorite right there. And better yet, even subscribe. And then come back next time and see how things go from there. But in the meanwhile, I hope this finds you and yours in good health, good spirits, and perhaps a touch of good fortune. Cheers.